From the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister, saying that the FY14 GDP growth is expected to come in at 6.4%. Remember, the consensus has been talking about a growth figure of northwards of 6%. So this one pretty much falls in the consensus bracket of 6 to 6.5% at 6.4%.
Yeah, so mind you, these are coming in from the wires, but assuming that this is right, this is bang on in line with what we were estimating. Our beliefs were that they would do it, or rather the PMEAC would say that FY14 GDP growth would come in between 6.1 to 6.7%, more towards the upper end of the range. 6.4 is bang in between. So this is on expected lines. What we would watch out for would also be what are the other comments that come along with it, the CAD numbers that will come along with it. And this report officially, I believe, would be out in a matter of 10 odd minutes from now. But the wires are clearly stating that 6.4% is the number, which is the FY14 GDP growth number as per the PMEAC report. Not surprising, much better than what we've seen in the current year as well. But as I said, we'll also watch out for what the numbers on CAD are. That will be an important determinant as well. Poonam is here with us. She spoke about the likelihood of what the report might peg it at. And Poonam, you said 6.1%, 6.7%, the range with a bias probably towards the upside. It's coming right out there at 6.4%.
Very true, Neeraj. In terms of the estimates, if we actually see the economic survey, that had pegged the FY14 GDP at between rather 6.1 to 6.7%. And we also have the various economist forecasts coming in. The least that I have at least seen by JP Morgan is at 5.8%, but towards the upper range is, of course, a Goldman Sachs forecast at 6.4% and a Deutsche Bank forecast at 6.5%. So clearly, depending upon the various domestic and global factors, the GDP growth would be the direction of the GDP growth would be decided. In terms of these factors that will be supporting the GDP growth, of course, it is the lowering of the interest rates that may give some momentum to the economic growth. But most importantly, it would be, of course, the government policy action on various fronts. If we go to see, that is very crucial to boost up the investment activity. At least that is what is Reserve Bank of India saying. Another key factor is the current account deficit. Now, PMEAC is also expected to peg the FY13 CAD at 5%, and FY14 CAD is likely to be lower than FY13. So, again, in terms of various expectations from the economists, we are hearing similar things that CAD is likely to be pretty much easier in FY14. This would, of course, help in two ways. A, it would help in terms of, it would support the RBI call to cut interest rates, and it would also help support slightly on the overall twin deficit side, which have been a major cause of concern. The dependence on the imports not the dependence. The import bill is also likely to be slightly benign due to the lower oil prices as well as the lower gold prices. So overall, all these factors are supporting both the trade deficit as well as the current account deficit. In terms of the exports, PMEAC is likely to peg it at $330 billion versus the $300 billion that we saw for FY13. Now, this will again depend both in terms of the demand, again coming from the external demand that would be coming from the other countries. It all again depends upon how the global economic recovery shapes up. Let's see how what exactly do we see now from the PMEAC report.